Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Before I start this video, I just want to let everyone know that this video is for educational purposes only. I'm going to give you the facts to the best of my ability with the information that's already out there that can be found on the internet. Please do your own research so you can form your own opinions. And please be nice to everybody everywhere, especially in the comment section below. I know that we're all going through some really rough times right now, but negativity is not needed, nor is it wanted, and positivity can actually change a person's life. So what we're going to talk about today is the fact that on October 18th, a group of 136 academics, historians, and journalists coming from all directions of the political spectrum, whether it's left, right, and the center, released the Westminster Declaration, which is a document that basically points out to this administration that the rapidly growing censorship of this administration undermines the foundational principles of representative democracy, and that the best way to combat actual disinformation is with free speech. The said declaration was the result of an initial meeting of free speech champions from around the world who met in Westminster, London at the end of June of 2023. And this is what was said. We write as journalists, artists, authors, activists, technologists, and academics who warn of increasing internal censorship that threatens to erode centuries-old democratic norms. Coming from the left, the right, the center, we are united by our commitment to universal human rights and freedom of speech, and we are all deeply concerned about attempts to label protected speech as misinformation, disinformation, and other ill-defined terms, the piece included. This abuse of these terms has resulted in the censorship of ordinary people, journalists, and descendants in countries all over the world. Now, suppression of speech has been widely observed during the pandemic as authoritarians in the U.S. and around the world have cynically used claims of disinformation to censor ordinary people and stifle dissent about everything from the efficacy of masks to armed tickets. And the same strategy has also been employed to suppress the scandal surrounding the files of the laptop from hell, and continued up to the ongoing invasion and even the most recent Middle East violent attacks and counterattacks. Now, this paper further stated that government actors, social media companies, universities, and non-governmental organizations are increasingly working to monitor citizens and rob the people of their voices worldwide. They define the censorship industrial complex to be a large-scale coordinated effort. However, they emphasized that it can also operate through more subtle methods such as filtering, labeling, and manipulation of search engine results. It further cited how social media censors silenced lawful opinions on topics of national geopolitical importance through deplatforming, throttling, and flagging. Mainstream media also hired biased disinformation experts and fact-checkers who seem to have abandoned the journalistic values of debate and intellectual inquiry. Now, open discourse in the central pillar of free society and is essential for holding governments accountable, empowering vulnerable groups, and reducing the risk of tyranny. We do not want our children to grow up in a world where they live in fear of speaking their minds. And that was in the Declaration, and that was emphasized. So some of the luminaries who signed the Declaration Against Censorship were Canadian psychologist Jordan Peterson, UK biologist Richard Dawkins, NYU social psychologist Jonathan Haidt, Julian Assange, Tim Robbins, he's an actor, evolutionary biologist Brett Weinstein, economist Glenn Loury, filmmaker Oliver Stone, Edward Snowden, British comedian John Cleese. Additionally, two of the independent journalists responsible for the Twitter files, Michael Schellenberger and Mike Tabby, who testified before Congress about the censorship industrial complex, were also among the signatures. So elsewhere in the signed document All 138 signatories called on the tech giants to stop censorship. It also ordered governments and NGOs to respect free speech as protected by the UN Declaration of Human Rights. They also implore an increasingly complacent public to reject the climate of intolerance that encourages self-censorship and instead of fear and dogmatism. We must adopt investigation and debate. Now, the free speech lawsuit, Missouri versus Biden, to have been at the forefront of exposing an entrenched censorship scheme cooked up between the federal government and big tech. More than 60 officials or agencies, including the FBI, were accused of violating the First Amendment by pressuring Facebook, Twitter, and Google to censor users for alleged misinformation or disinformation. Now, I have a question for you. Well, not a question, more like a statement. Because I was one of those ones. I actually had my original channel taken down, as most of you are aware of, okay? I got hit with misinformation and disinformation strikes constantly. And I thought to myself, how weird. Because all of the information that I found on Google. So, how can they say it's misinformation or disinformation if I found it on their platform? I was getting hit with medical misinformation strikes when I didn't even speak about anything medical. But it seemed like that was the only strike that they could give at the time. So the New York Post has also been a victim of this vast censorship enterprise. When it was a laptop expose that was suppressed by Facebook and Twitter in October of 2020, weeks before the selection, the FBI had pre-bunked a story published by the Post warning the social media companies with varying degrees of specificity to watch out for a dump of disinformation likely in October and relating to the younger Hunter. Had the report been published, the outcome of the selection might have been a very different result. Now, this isn't just for content creators. It's also for the subscribers of all the channels. Even if you have Facebook or Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. Have you ever tried to comment on something? And then all of a sudden your comment gets deleted and you say, hey, why did you delete my comment? It wasn't me. Okay? This is also going to affect you as well. So, for everyone who has had a comment deleted, just know that it's not the content creator that's deleting it. It's really not. All right, guys, I'm out of here, okay? I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.